Today we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. Are the Texans gonna actually trade Deshaun Watson? The Hall of Fame, who got in? Who was our favorite guy that got in? And is this the best LeBron James we've ever seen, y'all? Next on Yeah, I Said It Sports. What up, fellas? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It. Y'all know we the podcast of all things sports. I'm your host, Chris, and today I got my guys with me, just the fellas, no whammons today. What up, y'all?
What's up? What's up? Go Bucks.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. We got to give our Super Bowl reaction. Of course, Blair had to throw in his Super Bowl reaction very early. So go ahead then, man. Go ahead and
I just said let's go Bucks, man. You can do that.
give your happy smiles, bro.
You know, I'm happy that the Bucks won because all of y'all was like the Bucks not gonna win, and there's no chance that the Bucks win. Tom is trash. He's the GOAT, but he ain't winning this week. It just was constant, for no real reason other than I know why Chris doesn't like Tom Brady. I totally understand that. I couldn't understand why the rest of y'all was just so against Tom.
It doesn't.
Y'all just want him to be done. You just want him to be over the hill, bro.
Nobody said that they hated Tom Brady. We just picked the teams that we thought was gonna win.
Chris said openly he hates Tom Brady.
Oh yeah,
yes. Y'all just didn't pick it. I understand not, but you didn't
reason to hate Tom Brady. I got a reason to hate Tom Brady.
Okay.
The obstacle to get through in the AFC. I done seen this nigga in the AFC Championship multiple times and it failed.
Okay. I get that, man.
I felt like the Chiefs was gonna win, but hey, Bucks came out there, had the perfect game plan, man.
I thought there was no way they was gonna stop the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just run roughshod over everybody. And hopefully Tom can do enough to get the Bucks to win. The boys did nothing. They literally schemed the Chiefs to death, bro. That front four was vicious.
The boys had Patrick Mahomes looking like Christian Yamaguchi out there on skates.
Listen,
He was trying to get on through. It was crazy.
Getting through the maze.
He was doing the best he could. It was a lot, bro. It was.
Yeah. That was big though. That was big. Listen, I do feel like with that though, like that solidified Tom at the top, man. That make him number one, man. I don't want to hear no more Joe Montana talk. I don't want to hear no damn Reno talk. I don't want to hear none of that, man. I can't even
talk about that from a pure talent standpoint. Because a lot of people think there's a lot more talented and have seen more talented QBs than Tom Brady. You don't see anybody win more than Tom Brady, but you do.
Winning has a lot to do with you being the GOAT.
It's supposed to. In football, they don't weigh it as much because it's such a team sport, and it takes so many dudes for a team to be good. They don't weigh, I guess, individual consistency enough.
I was just over my brother's house the other day, and they showed Tom Brady, and they showed this man with his shirt off. I can't lie. We bust out laughing, like big laughs, but I can't hold it against him, man. He is the most winningest quarterback to ever play the game. Is he the most talented? No. He's just the most consistent. He's just the most healthy. He's just I can't argue with people that saying he's the GOAT. I gotta give him his props, man. I don't like the guy. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I do. I can't stand that dude.
No, you don't like Tom.
Just because he went to the team up north. Don't like him, can care less about it. But with that being said, I really feel like I said, the whole game was not as entertaining as I thought it was going to be. It
It was
wasn't the
garbage.
fireworks that I was predicting it was going to be.
It was very entertaining. It was a very
It was
entertaining
definitely
game. If you wanted
entertaining.
to see Tampa
Bruh,
Bay win the
I
game.
turned the game
he was
off
out
in
here
the third
running
That's
quarter.
every
why,
play.
because you didn't want to see Tampa Bay win. If you wanted to see them win the game, they handed Patrick Mahomes all parts of his ass, bro. And there was nothing he could do about it. And that
Oh
all
yeah,
and the dudes dropped passes. I gave you that. There was a couple drop passes and some things happened, but he had it handed to him, bro.
yeah,
And
most
it was
definitely.
convincing for the entire night that he was in trouble. Those dudes couldn't hold up.
But exactly what I said was going to happen, you had to pay attention to is exactly what happened in the game. You had to watch the offensive and defensive lines. They defensive line came to play. Kansas City offensive line forgot that that Super Bowl was being played because they was just laying everybody. Like they was
Those
just like,
dudes
hey,
up
I'll meet you at the quarterback. I'll beat you first. Like this dude, he can't listen. He got some escapability. He ain't Houdini, man. He was trying to be, he was doing every role, every man. First of all, this man was running backwards most of the dang on game. He going from like
it was
they
really
on the
bad in
10,
the
he
second
throwing the
half.
ball on the
It was
30.
really
Like
bad in the second half, bro. It was none
Mm-hmm.
of his plays were positive. They were all just like negative yardage plays.
that,
Like,
and
no, it wasn't a very competitive looking Super Bowl. It literally looked like Kansas City did not belong to be there, did not belong there with Tampa Bay. And that's not what everybody was thinking going into it. They thought it was going to be this crazy shootout. Like, no,
well,
those
I thought
dudes
they
on
was
the
gonna
line are
I thought they
legit.
were going to run the ball, like, because the defense that they were playing, you have to run the ball to get them out of that defense. They didn't even really try.
You don't run the ball on Tampa Bay, bro.
Yeah, you
Nobody
don't.
runs the ball on Tampa Bay all season.
But when
But you
they
still
did
got to give.
run the ball, that's when they was finding their success
Thank you, because if you
because the
playing,
defense was moving so
Yeah,
fast.
that wasn't enough, though. That
Yeah,
wasn't enough
because they didn't
movement
stick
for
with
them to
it.
keep doing what they
yeah.
needed to do.
Whenever it's going like that, yeah, you got to stick with it a little bit. But that's just not the offense that they play.
Exactly.
They're not a running team, so trying to switch it into gear during the Super Bowl ain't gonna cut it. That's not how it works. That wasn't part of their game plan from the beginning, and it doesn't seem like it was. The game wasn't a blowout. It wasn't like they were blowing them out early. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty close until around the half. And then it got to be like 14 points, and people start being like, they even gonna be able to come back from 14 down. Like it's starting to look tough. You know, terrible Romo with the announcers and everything, he started spitting the he was like, man, it's 3 scores. Like, I'm bad with that, but help me out, Jim. He's like, if it gets to 3 scores, do you all he started saying that in the third quarter, bro. He was he was out on Kansas City in the third quarter. He started talking about this game. It seems like it's pretty much done. Like if they don't, because they couldn't move the ball at all. They had some really big drops. The
Yeah.
dudes really did drop the ball, but they were blanketed in most of that coverage. Even though they got their hands on it, it was usually 2 dudes in the vicinity when it happened.
Sean, you awfully quiet, man. What's your take, man? How did
It
you?
was all some bullshit. I called you at 2 o'clock. I said, tell the truth. I
You
said,
did.
man, I feel like it's about to be a conspiracy going on with Tom. Always got some money in the commissioner's hands. He always get away with some bullshit. And look what happened. I had a change of heart about 2 o'clock, but to elaborate on the conversation, I actually wasn't interested at all in the game. You know what I'm saying? I actually came in, I think, at the 11-minute mark in the first quarter, and I seen where it was going. I knew the Tampa Bay was going to win that. So shout out to Romo, the third quarter, but I already knew what time it was. So, yeah, I really wasn't interested in it, man. Honestly, it really wasn't intriguing to me. Far as Tom Brady, I ain't going to say I hate him, but he is from that team up north. Greatest of all time, I'll put him in the quarterback, but not overall, man. Some guys, as we seen with the Hall of Fame that we're going to get into, their career got cut short. Jim Brown. Just think what kind of numbers or rings Jim Brown could have got. But we can't go off of what ifs with Barry, We can't go off with this with Walter. You know what I'm saying? Megatron. I mean, I really got to say Megatron won a ring in Detroit, but if they would have helped him with a trade like they did last week, who's to say if they would have traded him to New England? You know what I'm saying? So we came with up. So off a quarterback, he is the greatest ball. I admit it. I shout out the boy. He did his thing, and he just put himself on a whole nother platform for guys that ain't gonna be able to catch up for years to come, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So if Patrick Mahomes don't get his shit together, like it's gonna be hard to even put him in that conversation. Now, as far as Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the youngest, most talented, and future greatest of all time that we can look forward to. But man, that man is in a whole nother stratosphere. Just like I said, when LeBron won that ring in Cleveland, like man, dude won that one. It was like, man, I gotta argue with MJ. You know what I'm saying? But he won this one at that age. It's more than just the rings, though, with me, man. He did it like in this pandemic. Same thing I said with LeBron. So I gotta use the same argument.
Yeah.
But for time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did this pandemic. He didn't know his team fully. You know, during the season, go through OTAs and all, you know, your wide receivers, you know, all summer long, you got preseason. They didn't have none of that. And for him to come up top, you got to salute the man, man. I mean, you already know he was in the Hall of Fame, but ain't nobody can't hold a candle towards this dude, man. I mean, even if you do say Joe Montana still don't have as much success as Tom Brady. So yeah, man, that's my standpoint on that. But man, yeah, that game, so ugly. But yeah, shout out one more time. Shout out to Ty Bowles. Get that man a job, man. He destroyed every enemy, and that might be what some GMs looking at. Like, man, you put that heat on, and they crumble. So it might be something that we can't always go off the skin color, fellas. So some of them guys probably did their homework and was like, the enemy can't do such and such. You know what I'm saying? Look at Ty Bowles. Everywhere he go, his defense stands up, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he deserves a job. The enemy deserves a job, but he gonna definitely need some help with some coaching. He needed a solid coaching staff, and Bieniemy could be a good head coach.
We gotta talk about Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Are the Texans going to trade Deshaun Watson? And if so, where do you think is the best spot for him to land? Sean, what you think, man?
Man, that's kind of tough. Like, far as what would be a good spot for him? As you know, he need a one receiver for real. He definitely need a one receiver, and he need a decent a catching running back. So it's a lot of chemistry with that goes with that. I mean, you got to say, man, Deshaun was top 10 when he had DeAndre, man. You know what I'm saying? They just basically blew up that whole organization from Clowney, and I ain't putting a lot of emphasis on Clowney, but I mean that was your number one pick, and he was still producing. You know what I'm saying? JJ, he's still balling. So you had a solid defensive foundation. Your offense, I mean, both of them was Pro Bowlers. You just blew it up. So now your homeboy gone, your best friend gone, your man. That's like when Jerry Rice just leaving, or when he went off to Oakland or whatever. It was a whole new guy. So when I see Deshaun, I ain't saying he booty, but that's not the same guy because he don't have the same type of weapons. They didn't even get nothing back in return for the trade, to be honest, in my opinion. So I believe he'll have to go somewhere where he has a number one, and what will make a good trade fit. I would say, man, that's kind of tough. I ain't gonna tell you to circle the block, but I would like to see him in a San Fran uniform, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I think they do got some young boys. I forgot the wide receiver. His last name started with an A. From Arizona.
I don't know, but they got that boy Debo Samuel.
I about to say they got Debo. You know what I'm saying? And
raw.
I think he'll do good in San Fran. Get him out that AFC. Really not that strong, but the NFC South, West, where they have a lot of solid quarterbacks. Now you have Matthew Stafford. You got Russell Wilson, and you got the young boy. You know what I'm saying? Arizona. I think that'll look good out there. It wouldn't be too much pressure on him to win immediately. Again, he'll have a little bit of weapons. He have defense like he had before. That's what I think. But far as do I see the trade happening, I think they're gonna prolong it until the draft and see what they can get for him, man.
Okay. Blair, what you think, man?
There's some tough times ahead, Houston, man. Even if they don't trade him, I don't know how they think they're going to get anything out of him. Like, even if they don't trade him and say he doesn't sit out and he shows up, what y'all going to fine him for conduct detrimental to the team? Y'all know he doesn't want to be there. So if he shows up and just doesn't say anything, he goes through the job, does the workouts, and he gets beat this season. He's like, I'm not getting beat up for this franchise because y'all have done nothing for me. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're probably gonna trade him because it's weird. It's really weird now. Like, and I get it. The problem is with ownership, and that ain't changing. So unless he's willing to waste the season, he can go. I feel like why not go? Why not show up? They shouldn't play him, but he's there. He showed up. Saying he showed up and didn't do well is like, hey, man, a lot of people show up and don't do well. You're going to find him what? Can't find him the whole game check if he's just not taking it seriously.
Yeah,
the problem with that, I know, is they get hurt when they don't take it seriously. Like, if you don't give your all in football, you get hurt. It's very easy for that to happen. But Deshaun, like, their relationship and where they are, if he's actually not talking, and they're saying we're not interested in trading him, but have they even talked to Deshaun Watson? Like, has he even answered anybody's phone calls? New GM, old GM, new head coach, old head coach. He ain't talking to the owner. The owner's like, he feels, I don't blame him. He's like, I shouldn't have to talk to you to make decisions about the franchise. And he like, man, y'all just paid me all this money and said y'all would. Now, maybe that's what they said before he signed the contract on the handshake. Like, man, we'll discuss what's going on. We'll talk to you. We'll let you know. Bill O'Brien obviously did it without letting him know. And then they let that escalate. And then they started off super terrible and they fired him. And Buddy ain't going to talk to him. You know he's not talking to him. And once the head coach is gone, who's also the GM, who else is there to talk to? Owners don't directly call players. That's not what they do on any relationship. I don't even care if that's Kraft and Brady, bro. Like, Kraft didn't get involved until he had to. And even then, he had a stake in it because they turned the Patriots into this world dominating franchise in football. Like, that's completely different. He put so much money in Robert Kraft's pocket, not from other things Robert Kraft did, just from owning the Patriots and having Tom Brady and Bill Belichick together, bro. So it kind of matters, but he only cared when Tom got to be Tom. You think he cared in the beginning when Tom was on his first re-sign deals? No, they ain't talking to Tom about nothing. Bill ran everything. They didn't talk to Tom about a thing. And Tom just played ball up until he was 40. He didn't start not playing ball until he was 40. Deshaun just decided that the organization is not that good. If they were winning, if it was a winning organization, bro, even with all that stuff happening, he wouldn't care as much. He only cares because they suck. And not only do they suck, but he dismantled the team and then got fired. And because he's been hammered all this time over these last few years, he's like, I'm tired of just getting beat up. You know, if I'm assigned this contract, I want some input to the team. I want to have a say. I want to, know what the direction. They had to pitch him something to get him to sign, because he could have not signed, gone the way of the we'll take these. I can't even think of what it is.
Franchise tags.
The guarantee, the guarantee tag, the franchise tag. We'll just go about our business. So he signed it. I'm pretty sure it sounded good when he made the signing. But that could have been with Bill O'Brien, and then Bill O'Brien broke it first. Somebody had to break something for it even to get to where it is. So maybe that was what they sold him when they told him he was the face of the franchise. You're the face of the franchise. We're going to put everything in your hands. We're going to re-sign you, and we'll build this team around you. You'll have input. We'll talk to you about it. And then he got rid of his best receiver. Got rid of the best receiver.
For
Then
pennies
did a
on
whole
a
bunch
dollar.
of other questionable things, and then they started off super terrible. And everybody knew Houston is going to be trash this year, just straight garbage.
Mm-hmm.
He made it 4 or 5 games in. They fire him, dumpster fire ever since. And if he didn't get one input call from the GM or one consideration call from the owner or a text message from somebody in the main office, which apparently he did not get, he was done. Like, what else is there to do there?
Yeah, this is my thing. I feel like Sean really was promised something that he did not get. For him to be so upset to the point to where I don't even want to come back, I'm cool. They had to have promised him something when he signed that contract. The owner had to tell him, like, look, you are my franchise. I'm going to be talking to you in whatever decisions we make with this franchise. Y'all fired the coach. I'm sure they let Deshaun knows. Deshaun, after the season was over, apparently Deshaun, how it's being reported is Deshaun said, hey, the owners told me that, hey, when we make a new coaching hire and GM hire, I'm going to get to have some say so. Apparently, he did not get that say so.
None, bro.
He got no
None
say so.
whatsoever.
So he like, bro, so we out here breaking agreements. I can't even go on your word as a man. So you're not even gonna ask me. And then
I bet you dude don't even talk to him.
Right,
He never had to talk to him.
Didn't even decide to talk when it came to the GM. Didn't talk to him, even though he was supposed to be able to agree on both. Like at least take my opinion into account. And then with Eric Beyond,
you a player, you work for us.
I understand that. But also because I don't want to come play on your team, now I'm a depreciating asset like I'm James Harden. And if
but see that's terrible. You go ahead and depreciate yourself, so now your trade value is even lower. So now I can send you to a booty ass team, and your situation gonna be
they can't. He has a no trade clause in his contract.
Agree wherever they send him. They can't just send him.
Okay, what we gonna do? You like did Barry Sanders?
He just retired. He can retire.
The Bengals did Carson Palmer.
Same way.
Yeah. He stated, man, a roster like 53 guys, right? Of course, you got your franchise guy. I get it, man. That owner don't give no care about what's going on with Deshaun Watson. He got rid of his main man. These owners got billions of dollars, man. Let's be honest. We blue collar guys. We work for companies that ain't even on that type of level. Do we know who they hiring in that? You could be their top seller. You could be their top whatever. They ain't gonna tell you everything. Even if you had an agreement or you buddy, you go out to eat, have drinks with the owner, they ain't gonna tell you everything how they move. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they move pieces for their best behalf. You know what I'm saying? They might be just like with the Lakers and Phil Jackson. I'm not saying that was a good or a bad hire, but Bus was banging him. You know what I'm saying? That was a personal relationship. Same thing with Derek Fisher when he got to the Knicks. I didn't see that hire coming from nowhere. You think they stopped and asked Amari Stoudemire and all them, hey, man, should we hire Fish for the squad? Hell nah. And they made dumb decisions by firing Woodson. Now, look, he back with, a lot of owners, they could make as many promises as they want. It's the whole thing is your agent, he has to be able to do his job and have that in the contract. We wouldn't even be having this discussion because an owner could lie to you about anything. That's just like pimping one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I got you to do. You signed your name on the contract. You're going to work for me. You just got pimped, my dude. If you don't like it, you're going to destroy your brand. And you in the South, my dude. So it's looked at differently. You know what I'm saying? So he got to look at everything. And I understand him as a man. Like, bro, you told me this, that, and the third, and you didn't stick to your guns. So I'm feeling some kind of way. But it's so many teams that you can really go to. But everybody's seeing that blow up coming, man. They done got rid of draft picks for what, Tunsil? What the Dolphins got 3 or 4 first round picks now? They done got rid of everybody. I seen that coming up years. That's what I'm saying. Deshaun should have years ahead. And then they got rid of your main dude. You cannot believe a word that these guys saying when they getting rid of your guys. That's my only stake. You can't trust no billionaire just like you can't trust no politician, bro. Them dudes had a lie to get that $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. What you thinking, Darius?
I agree, man. Hey, it's just basically, hey, you told me you was gonna do something, and y'all didn't do that. It's gonna piss me off to the point that I don't care about this contract. I don't care about none of that. It's just like Deshaun, I do feel like he probably in the end just gonna have a little more leverage only because Bill O'Brien fucked the team up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is why you separate your coach and your general manager.
Agree.
These two totally different jobs, bro. And it's a reason that motherfuckers just don't be doing both when you at that level of that profession. You know what I'm saying? Because that cuts out a person. Like, as a head coach,
Mm-hmm.
that cuts out somebody I gotta talk to. I don't gotta go to the GM about this because I am the GM. So if I want to, I can give away these draft picks because I'm the coach and I'm the GM. And because I feel like it's gonna work, I'm gonna do that shit. And the owner is just like, all right, because he gotta come to me. Because like Christian Blair said, I mean how what like Sean and Blair said, bro, the owner don't got nothing to do with what the fuck going on down there. He is the bread. He is the money maker. Half of that shit he probably don't even understand.
Right.
He like, bro, I gave him this
They
contract.
they
He
don't
need to
actually
play.
like football. Yeah.
Exactly. He like, I signed his contract. He
Another bit.
signed it, and he need to play. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
It's
But
just another business for him.
Bill O'Brien fucked the team up so bad. It's like, how much leverage can you use against him? You can be like, oh, well, we not going to trade you. It don't make your team better. You still don't got a number
Right.
one receiver. Your
Yeah.
defense is still
Thing
trash.
is, once the organization is made up their mind that it's just we just gonna ride out this terribleness, they'll just ride it out.
Yeah,
Like
and
they'll
I
let
feel
it be
and I
bad,
feel you
bro.
on that. But
They will let it be bad.
the only reason I feel like he gonna have the leverage in the end, cause in the end, they not gonna blame Deshaun Watson for it. Just like they was trash this year. Guess what? Deshaun will go back and say, bro, I did my part. We was
Yep.
trash. I still led the league in passing yards. So I was out there trying, motherfucker. So like, nah, this is trash. This ain't about it, ain't me. This is trash. So, and you got to get something for him. And the only way to get something for him, you got to trade him to a team that's at least decent.
Yep. And your other franchise guy said he won't out too. JJ said, I don't want to be here either.
The
Did he?
crazy thing is, JJ Watt pointed to this like 2 years ago, bro. He was
Yeah,
like,
he did.
hey, I don't know about this shit, bro. He like, bro, I don't know about this shit. I don't know. And you know, some people are a little more loyal than others. You know what I'm saying? JJ,
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson, like he's the heart of Houston, but he's not what JJ Watt was to Houston yet. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Right.
So
Still
it's like,
not, bro. JJ Watt, they love JJ Watt there.
yeah,
Like,
them boys is like JJ Watt is the first Houston Texan, like I would say, aside from Andre Johnson, that they is like, hey, this is our guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll do for this guy. Deshaun was just signing his first contract. I'm just happy that he doing it now instead of 2, 3 years into the deal. Like, if you're gonna do the shit, go ahead and do the shit. The biggest thing is, like you were saying, he could play this year, but he also couldn't. You know why? Because these players done worked hard to get that guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I would have got hurt, y'all wasn't gonna give me nothing but my guaranteed money anyway.
Anyway.
Yep.
So to him, that's why I was like, bro, if anybody got a slight advantage, I'll give it to him. Do I think they gonna trade him this year? No, only because I feel like Deshaun Watson is not that guy who's gonna be like a Le'Veon Bell, who's gonna be like, oh well, I'll just sit out for a year. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he gonna do that. I feel like his love for the game. I feel like he'll still go out there and perform because he know when he get to whenever he get to another team, he still got to be able to do whatever he got to do. He don't want to fall behind the 8 ball. But if they do trade him, it's probably gonna be a team like maybe Indianapolis. If he stay in the AFC, he could maybe go to Indianapolis. I ain't saying he taking them to the next level, but you got a solid defense. And shit, the receivers he got there is better than the receivers he got
no
now.
way he gets traded in the division, bro.
Yes, I think I like what Sean said. I like the San Francisco 49ers because if he goes to San
I think he'd
Francisco,
be nice in San Francisco.
woo, in that
No way they
offense.
trade him in the division, bro.
Yeah, I think they're going to trade him to the
Send him to
NFC
Denver.
somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, if they trade him.
Play in Denver.
But let me ask this quick
All right.
question. Do you feel like the Texans ownership is under pressure from other owners to try to make sure that they don't trade him?
No,
So
because
it's not an NBA type of situation?
I
No,
feel like
'cause
that
all of them-
conversation was already had, whether there's
feel-
pressure there or not. They probably decided that years ago. This
I
ain't
feel
running
like-
like that. That's why they
I
still
feel
hold
like-
out hope that it won't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like they already done consider Bill O'Brien their scapegoat, bro. So
Yeah.
none of that shit ain't gonna matter. They're gonna blame. At the end of the day, we look at this shit 10 years from now, it's all gonna fall back on this dude. Bill O'Brien was trying to do too much. That was they gonna say. They're gonna be like,
But the
oh, he
thing
traded
is,
this person, he traded that person, and then we ended up losing Deshaun Watson in the end.
but the greatest GM coach is gonna be Bill Belichick. So people think it
definitely.
can be done, bro. That's
But
why.
see,
But
this is-
he's really rare, though.
But it also goes back
Exactly.
to the point
That
to where what did he do to even get the both roles in the first place? Bill O'Brien, what the hell did he do to become the GM and coach?
I don't know. Well,
Didn't
like
he make
Blair
him
was
GM
saying, he was
coach
probably
after
looking
he
at that
just
same
the coach?
formula.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't
I think
he
they
just
fired the
coach
GM
at
that they
first,
had.
and then they made him the GM coach?
Yeah, Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because
That's
he
what I'm
had
saying.
success. He probably said some good things in some meetings. All you gotta have is a couple good ideas, bro, for them to think you're a genius.